Trump demands Venezuela take back criminals, threatens incalculable price if they refuse. President Trump demanded that Venezuela accept prisoners and people from mental institutions that are in the United States. We want Venezuela to immediately accept all of the prisoners and people from mental institutions, which includes the worst in the world insane asylums that Venezuelan leadership has forced into the United States of America, he wrote on Truth Social Saturday. Thousands of people have been badly hurt, and even killed, by these monsters, he wrote, adding all caps, get them the hell out of our country, right now, or the price you pay will be incalculable. The Trump administration Friday asked the Supreme Court to end protections for Venezuelans in the U.S. Over 300,000 migrants from Venezuela have been granted temporary protection status, which stops them from being deported and allows them to get work permits and apply for some taxpayer benefits. The case has been batted around the courts for months, and the justices previously blocked a district court preliminary injunction that had ordered the president to keep the temporary protected status program running. After that high court intervention, Judge Edward Chen, an Obama appointee to the court in California, returned with a new ruling, this time a summary judgment, against the Trump administration, again ordering it to keep the deportation amnesty program running. He said the high court's previous blockade only applied to the preliminary injunction. Solicitor General D. John Sauer said that amounted to disregarding the Supreme Court's ruling, which had found the government was likely to prevail in the case. He said Judge Chen's do-over ignores that. The district court's new order expressly rests on the same flawed legal grounds as its predecessor, the one this court stayed, he said. The administration has been trying to end the TPS designation for Venezuelans for months, but immigration groups slam the move as racist and illegal. Judge Chen agreed with the group's notion and said it tainted the proceedings. What happened in this attack? This morning, on my orders, U.S. military forces conducted a second kinetic strike against positively identified, extraordinarily violent drug trafficking cartels and narco-terrorists in the Southcom area of responsibility, Trump wrote in a post on his Truth Social platform. These extremely violent drug trafficking cartels pose a threat to U.S. national security, foreign policy and vital U.S. interests, he added. Southcom is a unified combat command of the U.S. Department of Defense responsible for operations in 31 countries across Central and South America, the Caribbean and their territorial waters. Trump's post was accompanied by a 30-second video clip showing a vessel explode into flames. The clip says, in classified, in green font at the top. Trump wrote that 3 male terrorists were killed in the attack. Trump continued his post with, be warned. If you are transporting drugs that can kill Americans, we are hunting you. What happened during the first attack? On September 3, Trump posted a video on Truth Social of aerial footage of another vessel being bombed the day before. He wrote that this was an attack against positively identified Tren de Aragua narcoterrorists in the Southcom area. Trump added that Tren de Aragua is a U.S.-identified foreign terrorist organization that works under the control of Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro. What do we know about who was on board? The U.S. and Venezuela have not revealed details about those who died on the vessel or those who were on board the boat in the latest attack. Neither side has released the names of the people killed or on board. Trump has used the term terrorists to describe the people killed in both instances. After the attack on September 2, Venezuelan Interior Minister Diosdado Cabello said none of the 11 people killed was a Tren de Aragua member. When we asked in the towns, none was from Tren de Aragua. None were drug traffickers, Cabello said. The Trump administration has not yet offered any evidence to substantiate its claims that the passengers on the first vessel that the U.S. attacked were members of Tren de Aragua or that people in either boat were carrying drugs or were terrorists. How has Venezuela responded? Maduro's government has not yet commented on Monday's attack. But on Monday, Maduro had called the bombing of the first boat a heinous crime. Maduro described that attack as a military attack on civilians who were not at war and were not militarily threatening any country. The Venezuelan leader accused the U.S. of trying to provoke Venezuela into war, and the ultimate goal of the U.S. was for a regime change for oil, rather than a crackdown on drug cartels. Maduro said relations with the U.S. have been completely broken. Today I can announce that communications have been destroyed by them with their bomb threats, death threats and blackmail, he said. Maduro also called U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio the Lord of Death and War. Besides the 2 boats that have been bombed, Venezuela's Ministry of Foreign Affairs on Saturday accused U.S. forces of illegally boarding and occupying one of the country's fishing vessels in Venezuela's exclusive economic zone, EEZ. An EEZ is the region up to 200 nautical miles, 370 kilometers, from a country where only it has the right to economically explore and exploit resources. Much of a country's EEZ lies in international waters, so another nation's ships may pass through it. But it is rare for a country to target a fishing vessel engaged in economic activity in the EEZ of the country the boat belongs to. The ministry statement said, the warship deployed 18 armed agents who boarded and occupied the small, harmless boat for 8 hours. Last week, Venezuelan Foreign Minister Iván Gil told CNN in an interview, "We are not betting on conflict nor do we want conflict." In response to reports about the U.S. deployment of warships in August, Maduro called on his supporters to join militias to defend Venezuela, declaring, "No empire will touch the sacred soil of Venezuela." What is the broader context? The first attack in Venezuelan waters came after news agencies reported U.S. warships had been deployed to the southern Caribbean. The U.S. Fleet Forces Command announced on August 14 that sailors and Marines from the Iwo Jima Amphibious Ready Group had departed Norfolk, Virginia, and Camp Lejeune in North Carolina but did not disclose mission details or the deployment destination. The Trump administration accuses the Maduro government of working directly with drug cartels and being involved in cocaine trafficking. It has accused Tren de Aragua of being a front for Maduro's leftist government. The U.S. government has not provided evidence to substantiate these allegations, which the Maduro government has denied. A classified U.S. intelligence report released in April found no evidence of links between Tren de Aragua and senior Maduro officials, although it noted that Venezuela's permissive environment enables drug gangs. The report drew input from all 18 agencies that comprise the U.S. intelligence community. All agencies except the Federal Bureau of Investigation agreed with the findings. In his post on Monday, Trump blamed Venezuela for smuggling cocaine into the U.S. The strike occurred while these confirmed narco-terrorists from Venezuela were in international waters transporting illegal narcotics, a deadly weapon poisoning Americans. Headed to the U.S., he wrote. But according to the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime, most cultivation of coca, the plant used to make cocaine, occurs in Colombia, Peru and Bolivia, and the main U.S.-bound cocaine routes run through Colombia, Peru and Ecuador, not Venezuela. A 2024 U.S. Drug Enforcement Administration report also found that 84% of cocaine seized in the U.S. originated from Colombia and did not mention Venezuela. Washington has not had formal diplomatic relations with Venezuela since 2019 and does not recognize Maduro's government as legitimate.